Hey guys, it's Zach again, and I'm back with part 3 of the drummer tutorial. And today I'm actually going to talk about something else. This isn't the producer kits one that's coming next, but I want to talk about something before that because we didn't talk about this yet. Drummer has another category of instruments in its library. And they're drummers specifically meant for percussion, so like things like shakers and like congas and hand claps and other types of instruments like that. And you can use them alone or layer them with actual other drummers, because you can have, I believe it's up to 6 drummers in a project, which is quite a lot. So I'll show you how to do that in a little bit, but I want to show you what some of these percussionists sound like and what you can do to control them. So here we go. All right, so let's open up a drummer.
Number of software drummer. So autoplay.
And I'm going to go to the library, and all the way down at the bottom we have percussion.
Isabella, Latin percussion.
So we have 3. We have Isabella, who does like more Latin type stuff.
1 bar, 1 beat, 1 2.
We have
Percussion Studio, Quincy, pop percussion.
Quincy, who does more pop stuff, and then
songwriter percussion.
We have Finn, who does more like sort of Ed Sheeran-esque type things.
Quincy.
So I'll show you what all these sound like, because they're only 3.
Latin.
So this is what Isabella sounds like.
4 beat.
Turn this up a little bit. There we go. That, and then
Quincy, pop percussion.
We have Quincy, which is more kind of straightforward.
4.
So that, and then we have
Finn,
who's more
1 4.
Yeah, there you go. Let's pick one, just to have something to start off. Let's try Quincy. Let's just use him for now. So I have him loaded up.
4.
And in the interface, it's the very same interface we had for the electronic drummers. Same exact thing, just different instrument labels. So we have the presets again. So if we just look at these, they'll change drastically the groove. If I go back to the beginning and
coast to coast.
Try this one.
4.
Or we could try
First Call, Headliner.
This one maybe.
4.
And of course, any one of these we can change. So the complexity, we can make it more simple. Oh, it's not simple. That was a very complex fill. We can try again. Yeah, see now it's a little less busy. Let's do some cool fills and stuff. We could make it really, really, really complex. And, you know, make it louder or softer.
80 points.
Like this. If I turn the click on, you see it's in time as well. Although he's doing some interesting triplets and things like that that are pretty unique for these percussionists here.
Out of drummer.
And then we have, you know, the same kind of thing. So if you go into the drum instruments, you just have different names. Again, these checkboxes aren't labeled properly, but hopefully they'll fix that soon.
1 out of 6 chimes, jam, block, and cowbell variation.
But you can tell there on the slider that what you're controlling.
4 out of 6 kabelsa, shaker and tambourine variations. 4 out of 6 conga, bongo, and claps variations.
So like, for example, if I wanted to take the
shaker, unchecked, tambourine, checked.
That's really a conga. But if I want to take that away, I just uncheck it, it's gone. So now
4.
You have that, and then if I wanted to add the claps in, there you go. And let's make that just be the first one. There you go. Now we have a kind of a different groove. And then again, we have the same deal with the fills, so I'm just going to make that really, like, just add 100. Let's just see what that does. Yeah, it's probably better if we have more of the congas
check,
in
check,
there, and the
check.
bongo. I'll put those in too. There you go. So yeah, there you go. It's very simple. Why don't we... I'll make like a quick little beat with these. So let's try... Let's find something that'll be kind of cool. Well, that's kind of interesting. That's more of a halftime type thing. Let's go with that. Now, I'm going to demo layering this with a drummer as well, like a regular drummer. So I'm going to make a new track. And we'll just use Kyle, who's the default drummer. But I'm going to make some adjustments to him. Let's switch him to halftime. Oh, here's something cool too. You can, I believe I showed this before, but you can follow different tracks. So you can have drummer follow whatever other track you have in the project. So if you have a bass and you want the kick and snare to sort of conform to the bass, you can do that really easily. And you can do that if you have other drummer tracks in the project. So check this out. I'm going to hit follow here, and it's going to follow my percussion track, and the kit name is Studio. That's why it's called that, but you could change the name of the track to whatever you like. So if we play that now, let's see what it sounds like. So it's definitely following it, but I want it to be more halftime. So I'm going to turn that off because I like the setting I have. And I'm just going to make this really simple. Turn it up quite a bit. Turn it down a little bit. There you go. Cool. And there you go. I'm going to turn it down slightly. I'm going to also loop these as well. There you go. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. Actually, I'll keep this, but I'll turn the percussion down. There we go. So you have the same kind of access that you would normally. And then also, too, for the percussion instruments, you have different smart controls than you would for the normal kit for drummers. So if I open the smart controls here, we can see what we have. So we have the mix, so we can control, like, if we think, for example, that the shakers are too loud. If I solo this and we play it, I do think the shakers are actually a little too loud. Let's turn them down a little bit.
30, 47%, 50.
Yeah, there we go. Turn the claps up.
40%.
Let me find them.
53%. Shake 67%. Toggle channel strips 67%. Blocks 67%. Stops at 67%.
Oh, here they are.
Stops and clap 87.
So these are stomps and claps, but they were just using the cups right now, so I'm going to turn those up.
90.
There we go. Perfect. We have some effects.
Insert 80%. 0.
This is like an EQ. We can change how bright we want the sound.
8, 6.
And keep it like there.
Out 40%. Drive.
Got the drive, so it has some distortion if you want that.
60.
Adds a little bit of analog, like it pumps it up a little bit.
Out 0%. Delay. Circular.
Yeah, some delay. It adds a little bit of texture to the rhythm, makes it a little more complex. Yeah, that's a little. 10%. I'll give it up like maybe
7%, 6%,
5% maybe.
Out 50%. Compressor.
You have compression as well.
8, 9.
You're really go hard on that if we wanted. I'm gonna go a little bit more, just slight, a little bit of compression, not too much.
Out 0%. Modulation. Circular.
And I guess you have some
20%.
like chorus.
50.
Yep.
20.
So if you wanted to maybe make it a little more stereo than it would normally be, you could do that.
Out 22%. Ambience 22%.
And you have some reverb as well.
30.
Kind of a small reverb in this case. And you can, of course, go in and change all these effects. So if you wanted a different sound, you could totally do that. So we have sort of a basic thing here. Let's add some more melodic elements to this. I will make a new software instrument
software.
track, and I will
Live. Metronome on.
load up a sound here.
Arpeggiator.
Let's get like
Acoustics. Synth chords.
something
Synth layers.
in the
Anticipate.
arpeggiated category.
Warm arp pad. Traveling
Let's
without moving.
try
Warm arp.
this one. No.
Traveling
try
without
this.
moving.
That's a little bit too complex.
Transinducer.
Let's see.
Synth bell cycles. Starlight motion. Splatter cycles. Space ensemble. Single digit drama. Shifting chords. Resonant patterns. Percolating suspense. Moonlight drive.
So you can just tell there's so many sounds in
Midnight
Logic,
Drive.
so it might.
Lush arc layers.
It could
Midnight drive.
take you some time to find something. Let's
Lush
try
arc
this
layers.
one. No, don't like
Luscious
that one.
arc layers.
Let's try maybe this. That's kind of ambient. Let's see if that will work. It might be a little weird, but let's try it. Yeah, actually, that could be okay. That could work. So I'm going to just make like a simple chord progression. So I'm going to hit R to record. It's going to give me a count-in, and I'm just going to go. Gonna play something. There we go. So I'm going to quantize that to make it
Control
nice and
track. Inspect.
neat.
Look table. Use off. 1/4. 1.
There we go.
1.
And what I'll do
Smart controls.
as well, I'm going to close the Smart Controls window.
Track 4. SoCal.
I'm
Track
going to
3,
just
Luscious art layers.
turn this down a little bit.
What?
Turn the metronome off. I'm going to turn the drum kit down slightly. There we go. I'm just going to loop this. There we go. And now let's just add like a loop or something.
Show high loop.
We'll get something kind of
Disco, Chromie, Chinese tradition, chill
basic
wave.
here. Let's
Chill
see
wave,
what I
400
have
loops. It type
installed.
real loop, rip name, 880s. 8 acoustic
Something
after hours beat.
kind of melodic,
Bit division beat. Bottom feeder.
I'd say.
Chill chords acoustic guitar. Chill chord space. Chill loop bass. Chill loop guitar. Chill melt. Chime chord layer.
Some of these
Chordal, cinema interlude, cinema.
are
Coin op.
in major, and we want
Continuing.
something minor. So
Contrails lead guitar.
yeah, that could work. Let's give that a try and see what it sounds like. I'll put it in at bar 9.
8.
Yeah, that actually sounds pretty nice.
Contrail synth.
So we got that. We have some synth stuff in here. Why don't we have that be
What?
at bar 5, and then we'll make a little arrangement of this as we
What?
go along. So what I'll do now
Inspect.
is I'm going to go into my drummer,
Track 4, SoCal group.
this first one here,
Track-
and I'm going to
track-
move it
track-
all
add
the
rhyme,
way
add
over
SoCal. What?
to bar 9.
9.
So I'm going to go to bar 9, and then I'm going to hit the semicolon key, and what that does is it moves the region to wherever my playhead is. I'll have another more in-depth video on editing in Logic at some point, but this is just a really neat tip to get stuff really quickly to where you want it to go. And this is super useful when you're arranging something, because you don't have to fuss around with nudging things all the time and moving things around. It's very easy to make an arrangement. So I just moved it to bar 9 with one click, and if we want to confirm that, we can press Control, Option, and then the Shift key, and then H, and that will tell us where the region is.
Add drummer region. Click to add.
Or, oops,
Add drummer. SoCal.
there we go. We have to make sure we're focused on it first.
Region starts at 9 bars. 1 beat, 1 division, 1 tick.
There we go. So we have that now. I'm going to tell it that I want this region
Move right border.
to be 16 bars in length.
In 8, 9, 9.
So I'm moving what's called the right border handle to the right,
14,
and
15,
that's
15,
extending
16 bars.
the drummer region, and it's generating more content with whatever algorithms it's using to do that. And I'm going to have it end on bar 16, but beat 1.
16 bars, 1 beat.
Or just have it last an extra beat, just so that it will do a crash symbol at the end to make it kind of final. And then,
add drummer read out track 3.
I'm thinking what we can do
studio.
with the percussion. Let's just solo it for a second.
4 bars.
Whoops,
Track 4, SoCal.
This one's solo.
Toggle channel strip solo
There
off.
we go. And let's
Track
solo
2,
that
toggle channel strip
percussion.
solo on. 1, 4 beat.
Just take a listen to it. If it will let us.
Track 2, tracks.
Oh, whoops! I was not in the tracks header.
Track
That's why it
5,
wasn't working.
Track 2, studio.
There we go.
Top 1, 4.
Now I'm thinking, why don't we try this? I'm going to actually split this region
1 bar.
at bar 9
9 bars.
again. Or actually, no, I'm going to do
4, 5.
I'm going to do bar 5. So I'm going to hit Command T.
Split.
There we go. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell this one, because this ends 4 bars after. So what I'm going to do is the first one
4
here, I'm just going to have the claps. I'm going to go into the drummer again. I'm just going to have the claps.
Excellent drumming. Percussion.
This.
Shake tambourine unchecked. Shake check. 4.
There we go.
What?
And the shaker. Not that cowbell, not anything else. So
3 out of 6 percussion sounds. Group 3 out of 6 kabelsa. Shaker and tambourine unchecked. Shaker check.
I know, I'm sorry, the names are a bit confusing.
Hand clap unchecked.
There we go.
4.
So the shaker's gone.
Out,
I don't want. Or sorry, no, I do want the shaker. Let's have the shaker. There we go. I don't want any of this stuff.
Check. Hand clap. Check. Hand clap. Uncheck. Check. 40.
There we go. Perfect. So we just have that. And then what we'll do, I'm going to hit the right arrow to actually move directly to the next region.
Quick nav on.
So I'm going to hit the right arrow
Check.
like this.
Hand clap.
There we go.
3 out of
So now
percussion.
I can do the same kind of deal. So I'm going to edit this again, but this time I'm going to say
Percussion.
I don't want those cowbells
Hand clap. Check.
in there, but what I want to do
Shake tambourine unchecked.
is add this
4.
kabasa thing.
Hand clap.
And let's change the variation a little bit. Let's try this one.
4.
Yeah. And I'm going to go in to here, into the XY pad, and I'm going to make it a little more complex.
Simple complex.
And I'm going to play the region again because it moved on to the next one.
4.
There we go. And then on the next region here,
8 bars.
there you go. That's when we have the full thing come in.
Autoplay drum.
So there we go. Now we have sort of a bit of an arrangement. Let me see how long this other region in the percussion layer is.
Region starts at 9 bars, 1 beat, 1 division, 1 tick, and ends at 17 bars.
Beautiful. Okay, awesome. So we have a perfectly sized region here. So what we can do now, I'm going to hit
Toggle channel strip
I'm going to
solo on.
unsolo that.
Top 1.
And let's just hear the little kind of arrangement we made with, oh, we have no bass in this yet. Let's add a bass real quick, just to make this sort of complete. I will go back into the software instrument and find a bass real quick.
Vintage beat synthesizer bass. 80s FM.
Yes, we gotta have a bass.
Acid edge bass.
It's very important.
Agile synth bass. Analog bass. Arcade attack bass.
I'll
Big
just
saw
find
bass.
something quickly.
Boxing synth bass. Classic funk boogie bass. Classic funk synth bass. Colossal synth danger bass. Dark grime
Let's
bass.
try.
Deep distortion pulse. Deep sub bass.
Yeah, let's just do this one. Very simple. Yeah, perfect.
What?
So what I'll do is I'm just going to play that in bar 9 here.
8.
Very simple bass line.
Track.
I'm going to go in and
track 3. Deep sub.
quantize that.
Library. Control bar. Library.
And then we'll do a little bit of mixing as well because
library. Control.
Right now it's a little crowded. I'm
Inspector.
going to go into the inspector in this bass. And I'm going to tell it
1/8 note. 1/4 note.
that I'm going doing half notes because that's all we're kind of doing here.
Keep 1.
Perfect.
Piano roll.
And
Track.
let's take the piano roll away. We don't need that.
Tracks content.
And
Track
I'm
two,
going to
track three.
find
Deep sub,
that
track,
bass.
deep,
And let me
deep.
see how long the region is.
Region starts at 9 bars, 1 beat, 1 division, 1 tick, and ends at 13 bars. 1.
Perfect. And I'm just going to repeat it. Beautiful. And we're good. So now we have the bass. I'm going to turn the bass down quite a bit because it's a little loud. Just to have a little bit of low end is all.
Out of track 2,
And
studio.
I'm also
Track
going
4, luscious art
to
layers.
take
Track 5, SoCal. Track 6, contrails lead guitar.
this
Track
synth
7,
layer
contrails
here.
synth.
I'm going to turn that down as well.
Minus 4. Minus 7.
There we go.
Minus 1.
Sounds a little more in the background.
Out of track 6, contrails
I will take this
plus 0.
guitar and
minus
turn it
1.9.
down slightly. And there we go. Now we have sort of a rough mix demoing the percussion drummers in Logic. So why don't we take a listen to the whole thing? Forgot that there were some things on loop there, but that's all right. So yeah, there you go. There's a little demo of the drummer percussion features in Logic. I actually really like this. I think it's a pretty unique idea, and funny story about this, actually, it came to GarageBand of all things first, and it came to Logic a month later. So sometimes GarageBand users get some features way before Logic users do. So I try to keep up with both because there are some scenarios where GarageBand is actually an easier option to use, especially if you're doing something that doesn't involve a ton of editing or doing anything too crazy. It's really good for doing demos because you're not overwhelmed by all of the tools and options and all that stuff that's in Logic. You just can focus on making music and not have to worry about all that stuff. But I use Logic primarily, and you actually can make Logic look quite a bit like GarageBand if you want to. So you do really have it all in one, but there are some things, especially on iOS, that GarageBand on iOS had for a very long time that just came to Logic a few months ago. So definitely, sometimes GarageBand users don't know how lucky they are, and they have a lot of stuff that we simply don't have. But that's cool. That's all right, you know. So yeah, there you go. There's the demo of the percussionists in Logic, and next time we are going to talk about the producer kits, and actually we're also going to talk about a few other things with percussion that I didn't get to today, like the fact that actually with all of these drum kits, any drum kit in Drummer, you can play it yourself on your keyboard if you want, because all it is just MIDI. So you're able to go in and play whatever beats and rhythms you want, or you can even export the drummer performance as MIDI and then go in and edit any note that you like. You can move things around, you can add fills, you can do things like changing what instrument is being played, what the velocity of that instrument is. You could change the drum kit if you wanted to, for some of the more like acoustic drummers, if you wanted them to be more on like an electronic kit, or vice versa with the electronic stuff if you wanted it to do more acoustic. And then you wanted to edit it to make it sound good, you could do that. The percussionists have special patches that are designed to be played from the keyboard. They're called performance patches. And actually, you know what? We can show this real quick. Let me show this to you really quick. So what I'll do is I'm going to go into the library, and I'm going to go into the percussion category, like this, and then, now at the top we have these kits that aren't really meant to be played in manually. These are the kits that Drummer is using.
Latin.
We have 3.
Studio.
Now if we go down,
Performance patches.
We have performance patches. So if we go in here,
blocks and bells performance.
we have all of the sounds that the percussionists used, but they're all split into these individual patches, so you can make your own beats if you want.
Bongos performance. Bongo stick performance. Cage on performance.
I'll just say all we have here.
Claps and snaps performance.
We have a lot of stuff.
Congo bright performance. Congo performance. Shaker 1 performance. Shaker 2 performance. Tambourines performance. Timbales performance.
So lots of stuff.
Tambourine.
So let's say we wanted to do like,
Shaker 2
this is actually
Shaker
kind of
1
cool. I want to show this. The shakers are interesting the way they were programmed. Because what you may have noticed is when I hold the key down, we get one sound. Then when I release it, we get another. It's like, so the shaker is kind of going down and coming up. So we could do actual shaker patterns like this. I'm using musical typing, so it doesn't sound as realistic as doing it on the keyboard, but these are, if we go chromatically up from C, I can't remember what octave this is. I think it's C3, I believe, C2, C3, I think. But you have tons of different shakers, so you could totally go in and have some fun. Yeah, shake the shaker, and it's almost like you're actually shaking it because you're going up and down on the key. It's a very clever way. I haven't seen that in another library. It's funny. I was actually listening to a podcast, and the guy that was he was demoing this feature in Logic. He'd just gotten it, and he was saying that he'd never seen it in another sample library. And I agree. This is pretty unique to Apple. Very clever on their part. I believe too. We can double check.
Window.
I believe they have a tambourine one that does the same thing.
Tambourines performance.
Let's see. Yeah. So you could totally do, when you have a MIDI keyboard connected, you could totally do velocity and do proper tambourine rhythms and do them in whatever rhythm you want. And it sounds pretty realistic. Yeah. There you go. I like this one. You have 3 tambourines. So you have this one.
Quantize selected.
Whoops. Got that one. You have this one. And then you have this one. And you can play them together too. Like that. So you got, tons of options here. And just to show you how real they sound in drummer, I'm going to go back to our percussionist and I'll solo him for a second.
Track 1, classic. Track 2, studio. Group.
Whoops.
Toggle.
I'm going to solo him, and I'm just going to select the tambourine.
Autoplay drummer.
Because you can hear this in action being used really well with all the proper velocities.
3 out of 6 chimes. Jam block and cowbell. Tambourine. Uncheck. Shaker. Hand clap. Uncheck. Check up. 4 beats. 1. Percussion sound. Shaker. Check. Tambourine.
So
uncheck,
I'm gonna have the
shaker,
tambourine,
check,
not the shaker.
Hand clap. Uncheck. Percussion. Shaker. Uncheck.
Not
hand clap.
the
Check.
hand clap here. Okay.
Percussion.
So this is what the tambourine sounds like.
4.
Whoops,
what?
That's not the tambourine.
3 out of 6 Kabosa. Shaker and tambourine.
Check
tambourine.
One.
Uncheck.
I see.
Hand check.
There we go. This is what the tambourine sounds like.
4.
So that's just MIDI. That's not that's not live audio. We can try a different pattern.
4.
So that really does sound like a real tambourine player, but that's not real audio. That's all being triggered with Logic, with the drummer, I guess AI, for lack of a better term. I'm not really sure what they're technically using under the hood here, but that's all being triggered automatically, and you don't need to think about it. It just goes, and if you want more control, you have it. You have all these performance patches where you can control the rhythm, and you do whatever rhythm you want. But if you just want to not worry too much and you need something simple, this is a great option. So that's a demo of the Percussionists in Logic. I hope you found this useful, and stick around because very soon, in a few days, we will have part 4 with the producer kits, and then after that we will see. Let me know in the comments what you would like to see. I'm definitely planning on doing more Logic videos, like some editing videos. I want to do a video, actually, this might be fun, on chopping up samples. There are several ways to do that. Some of them aren't accessible right now, but that's set to change. So, don't worry too much about that, but I'll show you sort of some methods that I use right now to do it, and how you can do some interesting things with glitching audio and doing fun, creative things with like changing the pitch and doing all sorts of fun stuff. So look out for that. That's coming soon. But in the meantime, please subscribe. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to like the video. Share it with your friends. Share it on Facebook. Share it on Twitter. Share it on Instagram. Share it on, I don't know, Reddit, I guess, if you want. Share it with your dog. Share it with your cat. Share it with whoever you want. So, yeah, I hope you guys liked this, and let me know what you would like to see next. And until next time, I will see you.